Alright, so we got a different type of video today, something I think is pretty interesting. So ever since Chapter 118 came out, a lot of people have been asking me to make like an updated top 10 heroes list, an updated S-Class Heroes Disaster Levels video, and I'm definitely going to make those, but I kind of just want to wait for a few more chapters to come out, more developments on the S-Class heroes that are currently partaking in the Monster Association arc right now. And then I'll give like a more accurate version of those videos. But for now, I kind of just want to make the tier groups of the S-Class heroes. I think that's something that we should look at. So rather than just specifically ranking these guys and having to give like a definitive answer of who is stronger than who, we could just group them into their own individual tiers. And it'll give us a broader sense of what's actually going on with the hierarchy of the S-Class, because obviously we know that they are all not created equal, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. And also, it'll give more of a subjective discussion to get going, rather than like, this guy is more powerful than this guy, you know what I'm trying to say? Also, I'm not going to be going into spoilers in this video. I'm trying to keep my content balanced. So I'll have like some spoiler videos, and I'll try to keep as many videos non-spoilery as I can. I feel as though we have enough info to accurately make these tiers. So as for the tiers themselves, I'm going to be making 5 of them, and it's going to be consisting of 18 heroes. So yes, there is only 17 official S-Class heroes, but I'm going to group a MyMask in there, because he's pretty much an S-Class hero just without the official rank. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with Tier 4, and this is going to consist of the weakest S-Class heroes. So this is going to consist of Tank Top Master, Puri Puri Prisoner, and Pig God. So I know a lot of people hold him in higher regard than this, and he does for sure have the potential to maybe be stronger than this one day, but he just doesn't really have the feats on his side. Now, he has some insane abilities, and he's probably the strongest of this group, more or less, but like I said, he just doesn't have big wins or solid feats on his side. Now, he can eat huge demon level monsters like Eyesight and Great Food Top, and that's insane. That's more significant than what Tank Top Master and Puri Puri Prisoner could do, in my opinion. And he's also super tanky. He could bust through buildings and stuff. He can like tank Eyesight's poison, and then he has that insane feat later on in the webcomic that we all know about. But still, it's just not enough to push him above this tier, in my opinion. I think he's like fringe tier 3, if anything. Puri Puri Prisoner, for sure, has had a buff in power. He is at the peak of his strength, and he is way more powerful currently in the manga than he ever is at any point in the webcomic. And I like that they did that to him, but he, just like Pig God and Tank Top Master, fails to have like that real significant feat. Now, of course, he obliterated many demons, and you can say that Vacuuma is maybe a high demon. I don't think he is. And then there's that comment that Murata made about that one random fodder demon that he took out being as strong as Deep Sea King. But I just think he was being a little hyperbolic with that statement, and I really don't think that demon was as strong as a dry Deep Sea King. Regardless, he did take him out in very impressive fashion, and he did have that performance that was pretty significant against Neon. But we have to remember that that was like a bad matchup scenario, and we can't really count that towards Puri Puri Prisoner being exceptionally powerful. He does have the vibrating ability, he does have the bristle armor, and he seems to have like some kind of regeneration right now. So maybe he's a dragon, maybe, but we'll just have to see a little bit more from him. Tank Top Master, he's just a victim of less screen time than the rest of them. Like, he's not included in this arc. He was taken out by Garo, Hero Hunter Garo, very early on. And while he did have his moments against him, it just wasn't really that impressive. And I feel like Tank Top Master will have his time. But until that comes, which is going to be like for a few years, he's going to be regulated as the weakest S-Class hero currently. I really don't think he's a dragon at all. He's probably a high demon, but that's about it. So tier 3 is going to consist of what I consider the ambiguous dragons. So we've got Metal Bat, Genos, and Zombie Man. And like I said, these guys, I feel are dragons, but it's hard to say like what type of dragon are they. They just don't really have like definitive feats on their side. It's very blurry with them. Metal Bat, for example, he doesn't have the best track record. Now, he does have some impressive feats for sure. He soloed 2 demons at once, which is pretty impressive. He was able to stop Elder Centipede in his tracks by just swinging his bat at him. That's very impressive. But also, like, he could do nothing against Hero Hunter Garo. He had even a less impressive performance against him than Tank Top Master did. Now, of course, it was stated that his pumped-up swing at the very end could have killed Garo, but he didn't. But also, we can't forget about the crazy thing that One has said about Metal Bat, and it's that Metal Bat wasn't lying about him being able to take care of dragon-level monsters, and that things would have changed in the Monster Association War if Metal Bat was there. So obviously, One is saying that for a reason, because Metal Bat likely can solo a dragon. It's just that we haven't seen it yet, and I think we will one day, but for now, Metal Bat is going to be regulated to like this tier 3 level. Not weak by any means. He just doesn't have feats on his side. Genos, same department. He hasn't defeated a dragon yet. He's had some pretty good performances. Also a good one against Elder Centipede, just like Metal Bat. He's defeated many demons and he's looked good against them, but he just needs that big win. We also haven't seen him go against anything in his current Daedric form yet, which I'm sure is going to be ultra powerful, but it does have many weaknesses, such as a non-balancing factor to it. Kuseno states that it's only offensive, so that means that he probably doesn't have a high durability in this form. It remains to see like what his speed is like. It remains to see what he's even capable of doing. Now, Mirai revealed that his hands like open up and he can shoot like Kamehameha type fire blast out of it possibly, but that's all we have right now is speculation. But his Daedric form, I mean, we could just assume that he's probably a dragon by that point. Zombie Man, he's definitely a dragon in my opinion, but just like the rest of them, ambiguous. He does have insane feats. I mean, we've seen like his regeneration is top tier amongst the S-Class. I mean, they don't really have regeneration like he does. I mean, Puri Puri Prisoner has something like that. But he's like coming back from getting his head blown off, most of his body blown off by Homeless Emperor, and his abilities are insane. They're comparable to Vaccine Man's pretty much. Also, in the VGS, he defeated Carnage Kabuto. Now, granted, it was virtual reality and it wasn't a reality-based feat, but I think that was One narrating to us that he likely would have been able to do something like that in reality. We could speculate about it, but still, Zombie Man has the more or less feat of defeating Carnage Kabuto, which is ultra impressive. You know, Metal Bat and Genos could not do that in the VGS. So, Zombie Man, he's up there, but not quite higher than this, in my opinion. So, Tier 2 is going to consist of what I consider the mid-dragons of the S-Class. Like, these guys are certainly a cut above the rest, but not quite on the elite level. Like, no demon or above demon can hold a candle to these guys. They would solo them easy, and these guys can definitely compete against dragons, but it's really unsure if they can like take them out definitively. But that's why I feel that they're above the rest of the guys on this list, because the rest of them likely wouldn't be able to have the good performances against like high demons or dragons of any level like these guys would. So we've got Watchdog Man, Child Emperor, Atomic Samurai, and Mayan Mask. Now, Watchdog Man hasn't proven that he could take on a dragon yet, but just his performance against Hero Hunter Garo is way better than the rest of the guys but below him, like what we've seen Tank Top Master, Metal Bat, and Genos. Obviously, it was a night and day difference what he did to Hero Hunter Garo compared to them. So that right there is putting him a cut above them. Also, he's implied to be like the sole protector of Q City, so he's probably take down some dragons, just assuming. But we will see more of Watchdog Man in the future, and I feel that the fact that we've seen so little of him probably implies that he's going to be very strong, considering that he will be relevant in the future. Child Emperor, with his backpack, pretty formidable. We've seen that he can handle his own, but once he goes into Brave Giant, he's definitely going to mid-dragon territory. Now, it is, situational. He needs to come prepared for him to use Brave Giant, but I'm not going to discount Child Emperor because of that. He still has it and he can use it if need be. He soloed a friggin' High Dragon in Brilliant Eagle Phoenix Man. Can't forget about that. So he's definitely in this tier. And just with the backpack, I feel that he can probably go against almost anyone to a degree. He's probably better suited for support once he doesn't have Brave Giant, but still, not a chump with it. Atomic Samurai, we already know he's ridiculous. He's one of the fastest. His Atomic Slash is one of the best techniques in the series, in my opinion. I mean, easily. We've seen him take care of countless monsters, low diff them with this. No demon is remotely even a problem for him. But it's just when he starts going against dragons when he has the difficulty. Now, granted, he hasn't been against a lot. And the 2 dragons that he actually has gone against have been very bad matchups for him. So it's hard to hold that against him, but still, without his sword, he doesn't really have a lot of options. Now, he has got an upgrade recently. In the manga, when we saw him go against Black S, he was able to do that focused, concentrated Atomic Slash, almost to where it's like a beam, and he disintegrated Black S. Very significant. This is something that he wasn't able to do in the webcomic, so they are actively trying to improve Atomic Samurai's faults, and I like that. And that definitely does improve his rank, but he's still not going above this tier, in my opinion. My Mask, he's right up there with Watchdog Man, I think. Super powerful, super fast, doesn't really have any flaws to him. He's very skillful, does have the martial arts ability, very smart too, ruthless, as we've seen. Super S, no issue to him. Narinki's Private Squad, negative diff them with the power suits on, the organizational power suits, which are powerful enough to kind of bust buildings, makes them S-class level, I guess, considering what we've seen of the Paradiser feats. He literally ripped through them, just ran through them like Darkshine style. Super strong, just as strong as Tank Top Master, maybe even stronger than him. But he does have the one glaring weakness, which is kind of weird because it's not really going to come into play more often than once. And of course, that's his weakness against Ugmons, against Fura Ugly. But I think outside of that, he can probably take care of a dragon by himself. Not like a high dragon, but maybe a low to a mid. So tier 1 is going to be consisting of what I consider to be the high dragons of the S-class. These are the elite heroes. These are guys who have proven that they could take down dragons by themselves. So Silverfang has yet to show his best feats, but I think his performance against Melzergard showed that he can easily compete with dragons no problem. He probably had the best performance against Melzergard, even better than Atomic Samurai in my opinion. Also, he low diffed, no problem Hero Hunter Garo. Now granted, he did have the master advantage over him. He does, he was the inventor of his style after all, but still, it was pretty indicative of what he's capable of. Also, he had a pretty good performance against Elder Centipede, even though it was with the assistance of Bomb. But Silverfang for sure is a high dragon in my opinion. Darkshine, he's up there as well. I mean, very clearly. He did solo Carnage Mode, Carnage Kabuto in the VGS. I think anyone who's capable of doing that is for sure a high dragon, and this is definitely one telling us that he is on that level. He is the sole protector of the HQ of the Hero Association for a reason. And also, we saw what he did against Transformed Bug God, who's probably an above demon. Negative diffed him, just stood there, literally, didn't even block, ate all of his best shots, and then just one-shotted him effortlessly, pretty awesome. Flashy Flash, I mean, come on. Chapter 95 and 96 prove that he is easily a high dragon. Probably the second fastest hero, just taking a guess, compared to who we're going to be talking about in the next year. Soloed 2 dragons by himself. I mean, come on, that speaks for itself right there. 2 pretty formidable dragons, too. They weren't chump dragons, if that even is a thing. Maybe you consider Bakuzan a chump dragon, but still, Flashy Flash, even crazy powerful without his weapons. Super durable as well. I mean, come on. And then Drive Knight, the newest member of this tier 1 group, the newest high dragon, at least in my opinion. I think he's proven that in chapter 118. with his performance against Neon, who is a friggin' cadre, probably a mid-dragon. Dragon Knight proved that he's one of the fastest S-Class heroes too in that performance. I mean, his transform speed is insane. It's up there with Atomic Samurai and Flash in my opinion. His strength at the minimum is up there with Tank Top Master. His transformation abilities is a whole new aspect that he's bringing to this game. It's just really, we haven't even seen the full potential of Dragon Knight yet, but just the way that he was effortlessly taking care of Neon proves that he's a high dragon easily. And lastly, we're going to be taking a look at Tier 0. These are the strongest of the strong. These are all like at the minimum above dragon and up. Not even high dragon level threats can deal with these guys. And coincidentally enough, this is the very same top 4 that Giro said was only capable of dealing with Elder Centipede, at least by themselves. The information that he relayed to Phoenix Man when he was carrying away Garo at the end of Season 2. And it's pretty true. So Metal Knight, we've only really seen a little taste of his power. Just that one Metal Knight drone, which is pretty powerful, probably like a mid to high demon in itself, but the data book says that he has at least 100 of those things. That is crazy. Also, the full extent of his power is so great. In theory, it's so great that the Hero Association fears it and fears Metal Knight because of it. That's pretty telling of his power. Also, he is currently in possession of the wreckage of Boros' ship. That means that he's probably using that to his advantage and will likely develop some new tech from it. And we saw how powerful Boros' ship was. I mean, Saitama was able to wreck it internally, externally, and it was still flying after that. Pretty significant feat. But even without Boros' ship, we could just assume that Metal Knight has some crazy stuff to his advantage, likely greater than even Brave Giant. I think that's fair to say. King, King is king, literally. I mean, come on. He is the master of reality. He has a supernatural ability, nearly unrivaled ability in his Meta Luck, which essentially makes him unstoppable. I mean, I don't really have to say anything more, but I will say that he literally killed a monster via fear. Probably the greatest feat in the entire series, even including what Saitama has done. Don't at me, or you can if you want. Tatsumaki, easy above Dragon, easily one of the strongest S-Class heroes. I mean, come on, she's number 2 for a reason. She has yet to show her best feats in the manga yet, and that's pretty telling because we've already seen some pretty insane feats from her. Like, for example, back in Season 1 when Boros' ship shot down all of those massive bullets, just one-handed, with the swirl of her finger, stopped them, sent them right back up at the ship. Like, what other S-Class hero could really do that? That's insane right there. She's ultra fast too, has a crazy resistance barrier to her, which is pretty durable. We'll see what that's fully capable of. Also, the way that she was dealing with Giro, like negative diffed Giro, who's probably a mid-dragon, maybe. Pretty powerful, right? No problem for Tatsumaki. And then we have Blast. I mean, come on, I've made 6 videos about this guy, but he is number 1 for a reason, which means that he is the strongest S-Class hero just because of that, probably by a large margin. I mean, he soloed Elder Centipede, pretty impressive, but the databook says, or at least Fubuki in the databook says on his page, that she theorizes that he is stronger than King, who they only know by his feats, and that he could probably defeat all of the S-Class at once. I think that's pretty true. I mean, of course, it hasn't been proven yet, and it will be a long time before it is, but I don't think this is just throwaway lines. I think one is telling us that Blast is insane. And, yeah, he's definitely in Tier 0. Minimum above Dragon. Probably God, maybe, depending on what Sitch said about him coming out when humanity is truly in need of him, or just in peril in general. So, yeah, come on. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you thought about these tiers. How would you switch them up? Are you angry that I made them the way that I did? I hope not, but let's keep the discussion civilized. And give me your tiers, of course, in the comments. And if you liked it, if you did, you know, small chance that you did, please give it a like. Also, I have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great